All right, let's just dive right into this explainer. If you've ever tried to figure out how laws in India are actually made, or who really holds the power in the federal government, you absolutely have to understand the dynamic between its two legislative houses. Today, we're unpacking that bicameral balancing act to give you the ultimate high-yield study guide. We're going to break down their structures, their tenure, and most importantly, who actually controls everyday laws versus the nation's wallet.
To keep things efficient, we're sticking strictly to this agenda. We'll look at the bicameral setup, tenure and duration, ordinary legislative bills, the money bill supremacy, and then wrap it all up with an ultimate study summary.
Section 1. The bicameral setup. Let's officially meet the contenders.
Okay, so right off the bat, notice the core structural difference here. On one side, we've got the Lok Sabha, or the lower house. This is really the mirror and voice of the nation, mainly because its members are chosen directly by the citizens. I mean, anyone over 18 gets a vote. On the flip side, there's the Rajya Sabha, the upper house, or the Council of States. Their members aren't voted in by the general public. Instead, they're indirectly elected by the members of state legislative assemblies. So basically, the lower house represents the people directly, while the upper house goes to bat for the states and union territories.
Think about this for a second. The most striking detail is just the sheer numerical imbalance. The Constitution envisions a massive maximum strength of 552 members for the Lok Sabha. Compare that to the Rajya Sabha, which is permanently capped at just 250. You definitely want to lock this difference into your memory right now because, as we'll see in a minute, this exact math plays a huge role in deciding who actually wins a fight in Parliament.
Moving on to Section 2, tenure and duration, temporary versus permanent.
So the crucial takeaway here is just how fundamentally vulnerable the Lok Sabha really is. Sure, its normal tenure is 5 years, but it can actually be dissolved by the president even before that term is up. How? Well, if a no-confidence motion is passed, meaning the government loses the majority support of the House, boom, the Lok Sabha falls. But contrast that with the Rajya Sabha. It is a permanent House. It's completely immune to dissolution by the president.
Now, you might be thinking, wait, if the Rajya Sabha never dissolves, do these politicians just stay forever? Well, no. Even though the House itself is permanent, there's this brilliant rotating mechanism to keep things fresh. Each individual member gets a 6-year term, but the cycles are staggered. This means exactly 1/3 of the members retire every 2 years, and those empty seats are filled right away by new elections or nominations. It's a pretty smart design, honestly. It ensures the country has vital continuity in policies, even if the Lok Sabha is dealing with the total chaos of dissolution in general elections.
Section 3. Ordinary legislative bills. Co-equal, but practically unbalanced.
So, when we're talking about ordinary bills, meaning anything that's not strictly about taxes or the government's bank account, both houses actually start out with co-equal powers. An ordinary bill can kick off in either the Lok Sabha or the Rajya Sabha, and for it to become a law, both houses have to give it a thumbs up. But here's the catch. The Rajya Sabha's biggest flex here is its ability to delay things. They can hold up an ordinary bill for a maximum of 6 months. And it's not just to be stubborn, right? That delay is incredibly useful. It gives the public time to weigh in, and it forces the Lok Sabha to pump the brakes on anything that might be a bit too hasty.
But what happens if that 6 months delay turns into a full-blown deadlock? If they absolutely cannot agree, the Constitution steps in with a very specific playbook. First, right at the 6-month mark, the president convenes a joint sitting, bringing both houses together in one room. Second, the Speaker of the Lok Sabha presides over this giant meeting. And finally, the whole thing is decided by a simple majority vote of everyone present.
And that right there perfectly illustrates why theoretical equality doesn't always translate to practical equality. Remember that math we talked about earlier? In a joint sitting, you're pitting potentially 552 Lok Sabha members against a maximum of only 250 Rajya Sabha members. Since it's decided by a simple majority vote, the Lok Sabha's massive numerical advantage means they are almost always going to win. It is literally a built-in structural trump card.
Okay, Section 4, the money bill supremacy and total control of national finance.
First things first, what exactly are we fighting over here? A money bill is super specific. It exclusively contains stuff about imposing, altering, or abolishing taxes, or regulating borrowing and the Consolidated Fund of India, which, if you don't know, is essentially the government's main bank account. And hey, quick study tip for you. If there's ever a debate over whether a bill is an ordinary bill or a money bill, the Speaker of the Lok Sabha is the one who officially certifies it. Their call is absolute and final.
Now, once a bill gets certified as a money bill, the Lok Sabha wields absolute, supreme authority over it. By law, a money bill must be introduced in the Lok Sabha first. No exceptions. It cannot start in the Rajya Sabha,
Why? Well, because the Council of Ministers is collectively responsible only to the Lok Sabha. Since the lower house represents the people directly, only they get to initiate taxing and spending the nation's wealth. The Rajya Sabha, on the other hand, is left in a really weak spot financially. They can't introduce a money bill, and honestly, as we're about to see, they can't even reject one.
14. That staggering number shows exactly how little time the upper house gets to review the country's most critical financial legislation. Think about it. They get 6 whole months to stall an ordinary bill, but for a money bill, the Rajya Sabha gets a maximum of just 14 days to delay it.
So let's see how this creates total financial supremacy for the lower house. Once the Lok Sabha passes a money bill and tosses it over to the Rajya Sabha, that 14-day clock starts ticking. The Rajya Sabha has to return it within those 14 days. They can tack on some recommendations or just send it back as is. But here's the kicker. The Lok Sabha doesn't actually have to listen to them. They can reject any or all of those recommendations and just pass the bill anyway. And what if the Rajya Sabha just sits on it and lets the 14 days run out? The Lok Sabha literally just ignores the delay. The bill is automatically deemed passed by both houses exactly the way the Lok Sabha wanted it. The upper house has absolutely zero veto power when it comes to fiscal policy.
Finally, Section 5, the ultimate study summary, your parliament cheat sheet.
Okay, seriously, go ahead and grab a screenshot of this right now. It perfectly synthesizes all the core takeaways of our explainer into the ultimate compare and contrast study guide. It's really easy to see the trade-off here. The Lok Sabha sacrifices permanence for ultimate power. It can be dissolved, sure, but it totally controls the budget and holds the numerical high ground on everyday laws. Meanwhile, the Rajya Sabha acts as this permanent stabilizing anchor, great for delaying and revising ordinary bills, but completely sidelined when the nation's money is involved.
So, I'm going to leave you with a final thought to ponder. We've seen how the Rajya Sabha brings in professionals, provides administrative continuity, and really acts as a check against hasty legislation. But when it comes to the national purse strings, their voice is literally just a 2-week suggestion box. Given that 14-day limit, does this constitutional setup make the Rajya Sabha a genuinely helpful reviser or just a rubber stamp? Think about how that balance of power actually serves modern democracy. And as always, keep exploring these fascinating mechanics of the Indian Parliament.